Today we're going to install the Detent springs and the gear selector springs on this 2006. I don't know why I want to say 8, but it's an 8 gen. Maybe that's why. 2006 Honda Civic Si. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to have to do is remove the intake out of the way. And for those Detent springs, we're going to have to remove the transmission mount and support the transmission with the jack. So what I currently have done is have the car already lifted up and supported with jack stands. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove my intake. You guys have your own intake, so you just remove your intake the way you would, and we'll be ready. Alright, once you have your intake out of the way, next thing we're going to do is just connect the negative terminal. I have a quick disconnect, so there I have no more power going to the car. My negative is disconnected. If we go inside, nothing's going to light up. Nothing is lighting up. The lights on my doors are not lighting up, nothing. No more power. So now that we have that disconnected, I'm going to go ahead and remove this. We're going to be removing the ECU to be able to access this bracket. We're also going to be moving these cotter pins to get to these here. Pull these clips out so we could loosen all of this up. Probably pull these brackets here, little clips, to move the cables. Oh, yeah, yep, sure are. So let's go ahead and remove all this from here and get that ECU out. Got the hybrid intake right there. It's taking a little bit of damage, so I taped it up. This little corner here was eating it up. It was sharpened. I cut up a hose and put it over. Just put some duct tape just to hold it there. I put some glue underneath it, but it really wasn't helping. So it's just kind of that for support. So when this comes down and it just doesn't eat up on the pipe, because that shit is not cheap. So let's go ahead and remove all of this from here. I'm probably gonna need both hands. Got this off. And there is a, I believe, a 10 and a 10 here. That will loosen up the bracket for the ECU. Alright, and that loosens up our ECU. That way we're able to disconnect these. All you do is push this down, and then with your other hand you push this forward. So I'm gonna need both hands. Alright, and there it is. Now I'm gonna just sit it here in my cart. Alright, let's go ahead and just swing these cables over this way. This one down this way to give us a little bit more access. And this bracket, let me see if maybe we should remove it or not. We're not going to remove it. We could work around it. We could bend it enough to get to that bolt. That one back there and these right here. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to support the transmission just slightly. Alright, we're going to slightly support the transmission. Right where the transmission meets the motor. Perfect. Don't need to go any more than that. I'm going to remove this stick from here. That way this is not in my way. Now let's go ahead and start loosening all these bolts up. So I removed the 2 bolts from here, the nuts from here, and I am removing the bolt from back here. And let's see, we have to do this line, and we're going to disconnect this one here as well. Alright, these were 10 millimeters. There, my ground is off. My clutch cable is undone. Used a 17 millimeter to get all of these off. Alright, now we have to remove that one right there. That one's a little pain in the butt to get to. We got that bolt off. Now we're going to drop the motor and the transmission just a tad bit. Probably going to need both hands to do this. And the whole thing shifted. There it is. It's loose. I'll get that bracket off now. Alright, so there it is. Now we have access to our 3 denting springs right there. Go ahead and set this to the side. Go ahead and crack these open. and change our springs finally. Then we'll do the gear selector. Alright, so this one's going to be a size 12. I already broke them loose, and we'll just do one at a time. Just be careful. There's a little ball in the middle down there. There's a washer. Here's the spring. Let's take this over here to our little work table. There's the spring. Here's the hybrid springs. Those two are stuck together, but look at the fat difference. That's a big difference. So we'll go ahead and throw that one in there. Well, these feel a lot stiffer. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put the spring back into place, just like so. Then we'll go ahead and do it to the other one. So I really feel the tension on there. As soon as I put the bolt, actually I couldn't put the bolt on there, I had to press it down because of the tension. Then we'll go ahead and do these two. The homie Gio is leaving. He was here helping me out. He was just here chilling. Alright, so I'm going to torque everything down to 16 foot-pounds. And we should be done with these. Alright, they're all set. Oh, and they feel poppy. Like it pops in. Nice. Alright, let's do the gear selector now. Alright, I'm using a 12mm to take the shifter cable bracket off. That way we have more access. Alright, and there it is. Linkage is loose. We'll push this over to the side right now that we have no transmission mount hooked up. Next thing we're going to do is loosen up these bolts right here, right there. We also have this Allen wrench down here that we have to remove. And that one is going to be a 5/16. Stick that sucker in there. We'll break that loose and break these 10 mils loose. Alright, broke that Allen wrench loose. Let's go ahead and take that Allen bolt off. And this one has Honda bond on there, and we have some Honda bond to put back. When we put this back, we'll just sit this over to the side. And let's go ahead and remove these bolts from here. Loosen up this bracket and the fourth one that's back here. Alright, I went ahead and removed this bracket. I don't need it. It's just there in my way. And now let's go ahead and remove the gear selector. Just kind of wiggle it back and forth. Let's see if we're able to get this off. If not, we're going to try to apply it with a flathead. Alright, I was able to break it a little loose with the flathead back here. And then from right here up in the front. Now we'll just go ahead and unplug this pigtail for the gear selector. Alright, and there it is. And let's wiggle this sucker back and forth and get this sucker out. There it is. Pull the sucker straight out. Alright, and there we have it. It is out. You can see all the gears inside. Sheesh. Let's go ahead and swap this sucker out. Alright, so the way we're going to do this is I already broke this bolt loose. I'm going to take it out. Compress this with your hand. Do not let this go. You do not want this falling apart. There's springs and stuff in there. If you let this fall apart, good luck. So hold this as tight as possible, and then we'll remove the springs from here. And here are the replacement ones. Nice and stiffies. Pretty good stiffies. Alright, so there it is. Let me go ahead and do this real quick. This one is a size 12mm to break that loose. Alright, there's the bolt, and it has a washer. I'm going to go ahead and slowly take this off. Do not let this go. Oh, I'm going to need both hands, bro. Alright, there it is. There's that one. Place them with those right into the shaft, and then work everything back in. Whew. And we're in the clear. Alright, there it is. Oh yeah, feels a fat difference. Here are the OEM springs right there. Let's go ahead and secure this back down. Alright, and there it is. Bolt is nice and secured. Now we're gonna clean this Honda bond off of it and place some new Honda bond on there. Mount everything back together. Put the motor mount back on, and we should be done. Alright, there it is, nice and clean. Now I'm gonna put some Honda bond on it. Alright, scraping the bottom of the barrel of that Honda bond. Got it all coated. Let's go ahead and slap it on. Alright, and there it is. We're able to select our gears. I don't have it clamped down yet, so let's go ahead and put in our 4 bolts to hold this down. Alright, I'm gonna torque these down to 14 foot-pounds. Alright, and there it is. Now all we have to do is put everything back. Alright, I got this one all filled up with Honda bond. Go ahead and put that right in there and secure this down. Alright, now let's go ahead and connect our pigtail. Sweet. Let's mount the cables and then secure these down. Don't know if it'll be easier to mount this one first and then secure it down. We'll find out. Alright, I'm not taking any chances, so I put this one on before I bolted it on. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this one on here. Put the cutter pins to secure each one. And we'll flip you up. This one here. Sweet. So that's done. Now let's put in the transmission mount and mount everything back together. Alright, so after we mount this, I think the first bolt we're going to put on is this one here, because that one is the toughest. Alright, this one's going to be a size 17. So let's go ahead and put this bolt on there. This is the toughest bolt, I believe. And let's go ahead and mount it on there. Secure it all the way down. Alright, the bottom one is done. Now, put these top ones on. Then that one. Then the nuts here and here. And the bolt is down back here. Alright, motor mount is secured. Now we'll put in the ground, this clutch line right here. We have the 10mm bolts over here at my table. Alright, there they are, nice and secured. Now we're going to go ahead and mount the ECU. Go ahead and flip these over and bring this one back in wherever she's at. Alright, let's go ahead and mount the ECU back on. Alright, and let's go ahead and mount it with the securing screws. Alright, there it is. Put the cover back on. Alright, and there it is. We're able to flip our power back on. Sweet. Now we'll go ahead and install our intake, and it should be a wrap. Took all day to install those shifter bushings and the Detent springs. That bad boy. But it's worth it. That one too. So worth it. So let me go ahead and finish buttoning her up, and make sure you plug in your mass airflow sensor. Alright, and that's pretty much a wrap. We did everything. Everything's connected. Everything is linked up Let's go ahead and start her up real quick. Alright, here we go. Make sure we are in neutral. Oh, that feels so much different. It feels stiff. Oh, wow. That feels good. That feels really good. I like it. Look at that. It springs right back into place. Wow. Wow. It pops in. I like it. Makes a hell of a difference. And there we are. We are idling. Sweet. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.